in QxG.theognis.
All right, guys, here we are on Terminus, and down at the bottom, coming in to fight for Team EG, it is PuMa. You are the PuMa man. I know some Mystery Science Theater 3000 fans out there got that. All right, at the top of the map, in the teal from the team, Quantic Gaming took down In Control, but will he be able to stay in control of this game and get another win for his team and tie things up? It is QxG.theognis.
Question's always so apropos.
I know.
And we'll see what they can do here. This is cross positions on Terminus. As you said before, big maps tend to lend themselves to whoever has the better skill kind of wins out, or whoever has the more developed macro game, and PuMa.
Or the strongest death ball at the end game.
That's
no,
true.
I'm just kidding. I'm just feeding the trolls with that one, but, you know.
I'm quite all right with that, actually. So, and we did ask people what their favorite cheese build, or what the best cheese build is in StarCraft 2 at the moment.
That's true, but, you know, cheese is a very valid part of the game. It's a valid sort of strategy. Obviously, someone who cheeses every game is never going to get really, really good. They're never going to quite hit that top tier, but they're probably going to have a lot of fun, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you're not a pro gamer, you should be playing for fun, you know?
They may become a legend, like, bit by bit as well.
They could, yeah.
Knows?
You will. He was a pro gamer and only cheesed every game.
And he's a legend.
And he didn't last, yeah. I mean, so maybe you can
true.
create your own legend, but I don't know. It's going to be tough to reach bit-by-bit levels, I think.
Theognis putting down
maybe
Gets
Action
on
Jesus
13.
kind of.
Ooh,
he was close, but I don't think he quite got there.
An entire tournament. Yeah, I'm cool with that. And he had the. Can you think of a better name in StarCraft than Action Jesus?
I don't know.
Like, that's awesome.
Probably.
Anyway, so here we go now. Similar builds for both players. Gas coming up at about the same time. PuMa just a few seconds behind on his build, but nothing is different between these two guys at the moment. Oh, Automaton being pushed out
Get out of the way,
there.
Automaton. Jerk.
Both the SCVs will find each other. Of course, Theognis knows right away that means his opponent is cross positions, or at least not over at the right position. So
yeah,
and
true enough.
He'll head down there. We'll see what both these guys end up following their builds with, because not going for one Rax gasless FEs or anything like that. Pretty easy in these positions to pull that off, but a little more tech.
Yeah, and I mean, PuMa, like many Terrans these days, enjoys his Banshee. That SCV, really dead. He was just kind of like bumping into the Marine while he was shooting him for a while. That doesn't work too well. And it looks like this SCV with a little bit of micro should be dead. Oh, no, he does slip past. All right. But he's not going to slip past that one. Yep.
Nope, not at all. PuMa, not able to see the ramp.
Yep, that SCV was like hiding by the little holocron thing.
I don't want him to see me. I don't want him to see me.
What is that? It's got DNA and stuff.
I don't know. It's interesting.
Looks like a potato.
I'm not actually sure what that's showing. Is that a Zergling?
No,
right there.
That's yeah, it's like a flying thing. It's not a Zergling.
I don't know. It's like switching between Protoss or Zerg and Terran units or something. I don't know.
It looks like a weird Ultralisk.
It actually kind of looks like the thing that's inside of Zerg structures when they're building, but I don't know.
Maybe a little bit.
Anyway, second gas for Theognis. Oh, and PuMa.
You know, that really annoying thing people do where they say the word you're saying right after you finish? I love that look you just gave me.
I love that look you just gave me.
You're like,
right
seriously?
Yeah, you're just like, seriously?
You're doing that?
You're doing that? Oh, we're so funny. That one was unintended.
I'm just really good at it. So Banshee is probably for both of these guys here.
Yeah, exactly. Tech Lab's coming up for their starports. They're building those in positions so that it's the fastest possible flight time to their opponent's base.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see PuMa going for a cloak. Theognis as well. He's building up the gas, and normally you get that cloak started before your first Banshee.
Yep.
Just because it is a little bit longer of an upgrade.
Yeah, let's see here. Hellion's coming out for PuMa at the moment as well. Let's see, is he going to go for cloak? Either of these players? Okay, Theognis and PuMa both going for it at the same time.
It's going to be interesting. It's going to be Cloak Banshee versus Cloak Banshee, and basically it comes down to whoever is more prepared for Cloak Banshee with their Cloak Banshee build will win the Cloak Banshee war.
Yep.
Cloak Banshee.
That's more Cloak Banshees, please.
Cloak Banshee.
Let's see here. They're going to hit just exactly at the same time. We're going to see actually if any players waste scans on their opponent. So right now they both have mules down on the fields. Both players are about ready at that 50 energy, and we'll see if we get anything out of these players. Oh, it looks like actually Theognis, I don't think he dropped down another. Yeah, he sees Cloaked Banshees. His opponent does the same.
Yeah, well, he sees the starport.
Yeah.
Yep, and most likely he can kind of judge by the add-ons that it is going to be Banshee as well. Doesn't know about Cloak yet, of course.
Yeah.
A little bit of pressure here from PuMa as well. You see a lot of Terran players, especially in Korea, moving some of those first early Marines and Hellions up there to try to just kind of soften up the Marines in the base to make the Banshees that much more effective.
Sure. You know, though, when PuMa did scan, though, he saw the position on the starport, and that should clue him in as to what his opponent is doing. We have Vikings coming up for both players now. First Banshees are about to make their way to their opponent's base. There's the one for TheogNis, and the one for PuMa's just flying overhead, but PuMa's at his opponent's base a little bit quicker. However, there is already a bunker ready for him.
Well, this is a really nice play by PuMa just to get that guaranteed damage, but is he ready? Yeah, he does have the Viking there, and where's the scan?
Oh, he's got a missile turret not quite finished. There it's finished,
there it
and he
is.
can start going to work on the Banshee up the front here.
That done.
Yeah, PuMa, though, he's finally cloaked. Took a little while to get that done. He's continuing to go after the supply depot and just focus that down. The Banshee has flown over to the right-hand side for TheogNis. It's got 7
what
kills.
are you doing, man? Oh, losing 2 Banshees to a missile turret vision thing. That's an awkward way to describe it, but it's embarrassing either way for TheogNis. PuMa doing just some damage and going home, and that's what you got to do. I mean, you just have to try to make the most of it. Obviously, he wasn't going to be able to kill a ton of Marines, kill a ton of SCVs or anything like that. So just do the damage you can and get out of there.
Yeah, obviously PuMa did damage to the front wall there at supply depots, things along those lines, but he didn't really kill any workers, though. TheogNis did. He killed 9 workers, so he is at a pretty significant economic advantage, and his second base is finished before his opponent, and that is reflected in the supply advantage right now. However, PuMa had a few more, nice, expensive units sitting around to go ahead and kind of collect himself with. Automaton's trying to help repair there.
Automaton, such a helpful little NPC.
Yes,
how nice. And, yeah, looks like PuMa might decide to go mech here after he loses these Hellions. But he is getting Blue Flame Hellions back home again, making that command center. I didn't check to see if he had made any more factories, though.
Let's see
normally you wouldn't be getting Blue Flame if you weren't planning on going mech.
And he is not, though.
All right.
Interesting.
See, he's got 2 SCVs right there to do something.
Oh, man, Viking Blue Flame Hellion. Are we watching something from MLG Anaheim?
Maybe.
Feels like, but...
all right. So TheogNis does get his expansion up a little bit earlier, which is kind of nice for him, although he did take slightly more damage from that Banshee. You can see, though, he has started to kind of pick up on supply. Yep, there's another factory from PuMa. So it looks like it will be mech from him.
Yeah, 2 more, as a matter of fact. So 3 factories very shortly going to be finished.
Yay, mech.
Yay! Mech versus, well, we still really haven't. I mean, yes, he still
looks
has
like
the
it's going to be a
reactor
Marine
down.
tank for TheogNis at this point. Yep.
No more barracks added down quite yet, though.
Yep. He's got a little bit of a push coming out across the map. That Viking's
flipping out there for a second.
Couldn't quite tell who was shooting him, I guess.
And we do have Banshee coming back in now for PuMa. TheogNis already pretty well prepared for this. Missile turret goes down on the Banshee. Gotta get that away.
Oh,
comes
man.
in range and dies.
Yeah, not the best engagement there for that Banshee on that missile turret, but what can you really hope for with that? TheogNis, though, doing a little bit of a poke here, but PuMa more than ready with the air advantage.
Certainly. 2 auto turrets fall, though, and of course, those are, if you listen to people, they're basically indestructible. But no, mostly they just have a good amount of HP, and they do last for 3 in-game minutes.
Well, you notice what PuMa did, too, with his building placement. He didn't build anything that was really in range of where those siege tanks would be. I mean, so often you see players get stuck with their production buildings within range of the siege tanks there. And if you start to lose your production buildings like that, obviously it gets pretty tough for you.
Yes, it does. This is a pretty scary push out of TheogNis. So,
again,
the air war has been, won by PuMa at the moment. Nothing really in the air coming out for TheogNis. Now just Marines and tanks as he adds on a second factory and a second barracks.
This is interesting. It's kind of an odd timing for TheogNis to come in here, hitting right when PuMa just kind of is getting his Hellion production started. Doesn't have siege mode yet. Doesn't have a lot of siege tanks either. PuMa is actually in pretty big trouble here.
And let's see here. PuMa, what is he reinforcing with at the moment? He's trying to produce tanks so we can catch up on that front. Those auto turrets are still cutting off supply lines and giving him this good position here on the high ground as well. TheogNis is starting to press this home. We'll see if PuMa can do anything about this, but it's not looking great.
Yeah, absolutely. PuMa, I mean, I don't know. He's making a Banshee. That's going to be quite helpful. He can, with his own tanks, then zone out the Marines while he kind of picks off the Banshees, and I think that's, or picks off the tanks rather, of TheogNis, and I think that's going to be his best bet. I think he's going to have to do that, or he's actually going to just lose the game right here.
All right. Well, Theognis's getting a couple of Marines far enough forward that he can start picking off SCVs and kind of just convincing those units to move forward into siege range. So PuMa's still continuing to play defensive, not trying to go around his opponent, not dropping or anything. Now making his way out, so we'll see if any more auto turrets or anything go down and try and poke some tank fire. Yeah,
PuMa needs to just stay really patient here. He's not dead yet. He's in a bit of a bad spot, but he's still doing okay. And the Banshee is out now, so PuMa's going to be able to start kind of pushing up a little bit and pushing back these tanks.
Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. We have a Banshee up now, and looks like PuMa is continuing to reinforce with those. He does have Cloak, of course, finished up, so it's going to be harder for Theognis's to get in and do some damage. And look at that perfect range with the tanks at the back. So PuMa finally breaking that siege line, and that's just what he needed. Yep,
there we go. Theognis's knows he has to pull back, and PuMa getting a bit aggressive with the Hellions there. Don't know if that was really the best idea, but...
No. Well, let's see here. Theognis's taking his third in the middle of the map. He's already got that finish and turning that into an orbital command, whereas the third's just now coming up for PuMa, and it looks like he's going to put that inside of his base.
Yeah. I really like that PuMa was just so patient with that. He knew that as soon as that Banshee came out, he would be able to kind of push Theognis's back a little bit. So he just kind of pulled back, waited, bided his time, let Theognis's get a little bit too spread out, and yeah, didn't really have any trouble breaking that at all.
No, and we'll see now if PuMa can start to make up that kind of economic and supply difference. Of course, he is going max. Those units are a little bit more cost-effective, and but a little more expensive to produce, so he will be a little behind on supply. But, oh, that's not good.
Man.
That's a lot behind on supply now because he just gave away 8 of it to his opponent. However, here comes a little bit of harassment through the front.
All right, decides to land the Vikings there and drop some auto turrets as well.
Yeah.
Killing the turret and killing the engineering bay would, of course, be helpful. But he's sure kind of taking a risk here by doing this.
Yes, he is. The auto turrets, of course, lasting pretty long as well. Marauders should be able to clean them up eventually, though. And it looks like they will. Big group of units make their way off to the right for Theognis's. He's going to opt for a big double drop. He is going to run across these Banshees, though. So we'll see if PuMa knows.
Sees him.
All right. Let's see. He's coming over now. Is PuMa reacting? No, he hasn't brought any units quite yet. He's coming back with his Air Force, though.
Yeah, I don't know if he saw that blip on his mini-map or not when he passed it, and he might take some damage here.
Oh, yeah, certainly, especially because he has a brand-new command center, and he needs to lift off and get away there. PuMa has pretty good reaction time, moving a couple of units to the front. Looks like Theognis's knows he can't move into the range of the siege tanks and does decide to move away.
Yep. There we go, some Banshees in the main now for PuMa. So that's going to do a little bit of damage.
Right.
PuMa trying to basically do whatever he can to kind of get back into this game. He's a bit behind, and he's getting more behind as time goes on with not having that third base. But he has killed a lot of SCVs with this poke. Yeah,
this has really worked, actually, because he is now catching up in worker skill. In fact, he's quite far ahead, 24-12 now, continuing to inflict economic damage. He has evened up the worker count between our two players. He is trying to double expand. He's effectively denied mining at one of these bases, so not a bad job there.
Wow, just really catching Theognis's out of position in a big way. Even with the scan, that is nowhere near enough Marines to threaten those Banshees. Man.
Ooh, another scan comes out, and it looks like PuMa's finally going to have to move away. May take that last shot. No. Gets away with his Banshees. But Cloak runs out. Fortunately for him, Theognis's turns around. And here comes that drop back one more time. No tanks ready for this. PuMa was actually thinking of moving out.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be able to take care of this drop fairly easily, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the medevacs getting taken out. I think he lost one there, but... yeah, PuMa has caught up on supply right now. He's going to be able to quickly take out those rocks and take the third. So PuMa, you know, despite having a really kind of shaky start, those Banshees especially have given him kind of a new lease on life.
Yeah,
I don't know how much damage Theognis's is really going to be able to do at this push. What's the tank count right now? I feel like PuMa should be a little bit ahead.
He is 10-7 right now. So he has been producing
he's got a siege up.
Factories. He is, and it looks like Theognis's moving back at the moment. PuMa does have that Air War 1, as we mentioned. So, whoops, that was Viking gone. But with these two Banshees here, that's going to prove pretty invaluable in breaking the siege line from Theognis's.
Yeah, well, with the Banshee Viking combination, too, you can give your tanks range, and you can, well, that was an interesting choice.
Yeah.
SCV hug there. And you can kind of try to draw the Marines into your tank fire, too. Looks like he's going to repair up before he does that. That's a good decision. That Banshee was very, very low. Because
good scan, and those will fall very quickly. But, you know, with proper air cover right now, PuMa should be able to start slowly picking away at the tanks. But again, because he just gave away another 8 to 10 supply, he does have to make up a 21 supply advantage at the moment.
He's Planetary Fortress rushing himself there as well.
And it looks like Banshee's running out to the front. They are going to start picking away at a couple of these units. I'm actually going to see if I can get the health on the Banshees there so we can see how low they're getting as this progresses.
Oh, man. Nice job baiting those bio units into the tank fire.
Yeah.
And this is kind of what you can do when you have the air advantage and you've got the ability to make Banshees.
Exactly.
This is what makes Mech so good against Marine tank.
And he's just killed 3 more tanks there. He's continued to win the air war. He's picked off a lot of bioforces. He's equalized supply, and now he is sitting on as many bases as his opponents. This is Terminus. It is TVT, and it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we are in store for a pretty long game.
Oh, yeah, but you got to play a long, safe game if you're going to win this one, especially if your name is EG.PuMa.
Yeah.
Especially if you're playing Mech, you need to be so careful. So, yeah, he's just going to push out, take that 4th base. May decide to get a little bit more aggressive here, but...
All right, well, TheognisS has to back up again. He just can't come back against the air war. Preemptively stimming all of his Marines as well, trying to get away. But TheognisS, oh wow, had a couple units just inside of the range of the siege tank firing line there.
Yep. +2 weapons on the way now for PuMa as well. Oh, nice little run by with those Hellions.
Yeah.
Although that is a lot of Marauders. He needs to be careful about doing things like that. To a certain extent, you do need those Hellions to buffer for your siege tanks later on if your opponent does kind of force a straight-up, full-on engagement.
Sure. And we'll see if PuMa is going to get some units back to the siege tanks. He does. The Marauders are now going to have to run away, and it looks like that little task force is gone, forcing most of the units from TheognisS out of position. PuMa just going to go for it. He has a couple of tanks sieged up in the back now.
Yep, scans from both of these guys, or from TheognisS rather, letting his tanks have some range. PuMa, though, not needing to use the scans. That's going to help him economically.
Right. And he is starting to actually push ahead in supply now, and those Banshees, once again, just coming back. These 2 Banshees are absolutely the heroes of this match. 42 kills between them.
Wow, that is a lot of kills for those Banshees. They have gotten back in the game.
Yeah.
And just look at how easy it is to just push your opponent around in this situation. You know? The Banshees plus the air advantage just makes everything so easy, and TheognisS is at the very least going to lose his 4th base here out in the front.
Yeah, tanks are going down very quickly now. TheognisS, as you mentioned, losing that base there. I don't know if he has finished the construction on the one on the left-hand side that was actually stopped as well. PuMa, of course, with those Vikings in the air, is now going to be able to severely damage that orbital command. It looks like he's just going to take it out. Yeah.
Severely kill it.
Severely, as a matter of fact. Oh, and TheognisS losing all of his units up at the front. He has a good stem from Marauders catching unsieged tanks, but there's just too much stuff for PuMa.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's that critical tank number. I mean, PuMa's just got so many tanks now that he can just pull through anything. And there it is, GG. EG.PuMa playing a great game of Mech TVZ. It started off kind of rocky, but really played patiently, made all the right decisions after that, and gave EG a pretty big 4-2 lead right now.